Hello YouTube, how is it going? I have a match for you today against Dracomaster from the Smoke and Battle Finder. I've definitely just had a game against him as well. You know, following the new sort of NU tier changes, like those Primeape and Scolipede and Munchlax went down. And maybe Jinx, don't know. I think Jinx might be sort of still under discussion, but point is, NU has changed, my friends. This is quite an old game, a couple of weeks back, but I'll have a game coming up pretty soon where I think all the changes have taken place against the same guy, so, you know, bit of pre-warning, bit of, you know, looking ahead to what's coming, but first turn, gonna go ahead and lead off with my Swalot against the Pyrotoz. Now, I don't know why I particularly stayed in here, because, to be honest, this is a pretty bad matchup for me. I have Earthquake, but he probably has Earthquake as well, and to be honest, that's a war that Pyrotoz is definitely going to win. But for some reason, I decided to stay in and go for a stockpile, take a Waterfall pretty well. That was actually... I was kind of surprised he didn't have the Earthquake, but, you know, whatever. Waterfall does a pretty good amount of damage, but now I go for an Earthquake. He predicts that nicely, goes to Fearow here. Now, I'm kind of thinking, I don't think he'll go for Drill Run right off the bat, so I'm actually going to stay in here predicting the U-turn and hopefully just get off a gunk shot on whatever comes in. Maybe a poison. But in comes the Pyrotoz once again, which can definitely take a gunk shot with ease. I think Pyrotoz has like base 130 defense or something ridiculous like that. I think that's pretty close to Torkoal. But now I go for a sub just to see what he wants to do. Maybe get at rocks or something, but it turns out he does have the Earthquake, so I have no idea why I didn't go for it on the first turn, but I can only be grateful for that, so yep, now I'm not going to mess around, I'm just going to go for an Earthquake. Chances are he's definitely going to live it, but I want to at least get some use out of Chef by going for Earthquake, trying to get a bit of damage on it, but in comes the Simisage. Now Chef is ready to serve up the pain, my friends. I've been to a restaurant like that in Bulgaria, it's not the kind of place you want to go to. Goes for Hidden Power, something or other, Dragon. Go for a Gunk Shot, and that's going to clean take out the Simisage. No boost needed, my friends. Takes out Simisage clean and simple. Now, Chef has actually done something which is a good start for the game. But now, brings in the Fearow again, and I think, well, surely this turn, he's going to go for a Drill Run, so going to switch out into Shrew Manchu because it can easily take that. Now this Fearow set kind of confused me because I sort of assumed that it was like Choice Scarfed or something because that's the normal sort of Fearow set to run, so I go for Earthquake predicting the switch out, but it turns out he's not choiced and he just wants to rack up damage on my Sandshrew, which is fair enough. I mean, I can't really do anything to him in return, so why not? Speaking of return, goes for a turn, gets a crit there. I go for a knockoff and turns out he has the Razor Claw, which I didn't even think was legal. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, don't know. But in any case, I knock it off there, and I can't really do anything now, so just gonna let Sandshrew die. I've got up my rocks, that's fine. That's all I could ask from it. Now bring in Swanna. Now that he's lost the high critical hit chance with the sniper crits and whatnot, just gonna stay in here. I can live any hit and then go for a Surf, I think. I think I did predict the switch out here because he's not going to risk losing Fearow this early on, so just going to go for a Surf, do some nice damage to the incoming Pyrotoz. And it looks like it's obviously going to be a 2-hit kill there, so he's just going to go for an Aqua Jet, try and get a bit more damage on my Swanna before I take him out with the Surf. Now interestingly, that Aqua Jet did actually matter there because it brings me down to a point where I think a return can probably take me out from here, so you know, gonna go ahead and switch out. At least he's getting the Stealth Rock damage rack up on the Fearow, which is nice. Gonna go to my Grumpig, which, not the ideal switch into a Fearow, because it has U-turn and Drill Peck still does quite a lot, but what can you do? The best I've got is, what, Shiftry and Monferno left after this, so I don't really have a good switch into this Fearow as of yet, but switches out, U-turns into the Camerupt. I think he predicted this. I think he predicted the T-Wave, and if he did, that was an absolute beast mode prediction, because that's what I go for. But I guess either way, defensive Grumpig can't really do anything to a Camerupt anyway, so, you know, whatever. But I think I can get some use out of it later, especially for the Tropius. I think that's the only reason I kept it around, because having Taunt would be really useful against the Tropius. Now I go into Swanna because there is nothing a Camerupt can do to a Swanna, unless it has like Stone Edge or something, but gonna go for a Roost on the incoming Tropius. Now please, explain to me why I did this next move. Tropius versus Swanna, nothing Tropius can do, I definitely outspeed, and I have the Ice Beam, and for some reason, I think I sort of double... what's the word? Like I confused myself here, and I made myself think that I couldn't do anything, even though I have the Ice Beam which OHKOs Tropius, and I decide to go into my Grumpig for some reason, but yeah, whatever. Go into Grumpig, take the Toxic, and then go for... yeah, the funny thing is, had I gone for Rain Dance there, I would have just healed off the Toxic as well because of, what do you call it, hydration, but... yeah, in any case, go for a Taunt on the incoming Camerupt, and it's not all bad. It does mean that Camerupt can't get up Stealth Rocks if he does indeed have it, which I suspect it might do. But I think he just takes me out next turn with a Flamethrower, Lava Plume, whatever. I'll go for 2-Wave in case he double switched there. There was no real advantage to me going for Psychic, so thought I may as well. So Camerupt does get back up to full, but I am not worried whatsoever because I have the legendary Swanna. Gonna go for a Rain Dance. I have no idea why he stays in here, but I guess it wasn't worth the risk of losing either Tropius or Fearow, so I guess that makes sense. But gonna go ahead and just go for a Surf. That's 4 times effective and rain boosted. There is no Camerupt in the world that's gonna live that. Take it out. And I'm still sort of out of range where I can probably take any single hit from Fearow. And like I said, I OHKO Tropius, so not a big deal. In comes the Fearow. Goes for a Drill Peck in the hope of getting a crit, I guess. Luckily, I am able to take it, go for a Hurricane, and take this thing out. I went for Hurricane because I like the animation. If you got the rain up, I say always go for Hurricane. You may as well. In comes the Skuntank, which I'd completely forgotten about, to be honest. Skuntank, don't mess with Skuntank. I've said from the start that Skuntank is a big threat. I used to use it a lot, sort of in the early days of NU, but... you know, Hipster Pyrotoz discovers all the good stuff before it gets used, right? Lipud, Skuntank, all that good stuff. Tropius, you'll see in a few months' time, everyone will be spamming Tropius like there's no tomorrow. That's a lie. No one likes Tropius. It's horrible. Go for a Gunk Shot on the Skuntank. It doesn't really do anything, but I guess I went for that in case he brought in the Tropius again. But he goes for a Sucker Punch. That takes me out. That's fine. Now I can go into Nilbark. Oh no! Go for a Dark Pulse, and I feel like even if it doesn't kill him, it'll get him down to a range where Life Orb will kill him. And if not, I've still got Monferno with Mach Punch, so not really a big deal. But luckily I do get the crit. Like I said, don't know if it's too important, but it definitely helps. Gonna go for a Dark Pulse on the Tropius. I thought it was a good game here, because to be honest, Tropius doesn't have the best special bulk, but actually lives it, and he goes for a Rest. It turns out it's like a Rest Lumberry set, which is fair enough. That's a pretty good Tropius set to run. Now, because I have Life Orb, and because he probably has Air Slash, I'm thinking it's probably not beneficial for me to stay in here. Gonna switch out and go into Swanna. That was a horrible play. Do not do this. I basically put my Swanna at risk of dying, which it does. And I do have the Ice Beam, which could have just easily taken this thing out, so don't repeat what I did there. That was a bad play. Bring in the Monferno. It's basically down to Monferno because Shiftry can't really beat this thing. And Monferno is standing at full HP, so hopefully I can take one single attack and then fire back with a Fire Punch. See what I did there? Got the Iron Fist boosted Fire Punch. Adamant Nature. Definitely going to be a comfortable 2-hit kill on the Tropius, and luckily I take it out because, like I said, Shiftry had no chance. But I take it out there, and that will be the end of the game, so that was a really close one. I did still have the Shift 3 like I said, but it couldn't really do too much. So I hope you all enjoyed the match, and I am actually packing to go back to university tomorrow. Very exciting stuff, but I shall probably get some more videos up of COD once I'm back, because it's much easier to record sort of live comms and stuff there. So I hope you all enjoyed the match, and with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.